Hey everyone, so if you have been noticing the color blue lately, you've been mentioning the color blue, you've been hearing the word blue, this is another verification for you that this reading is for you. Also, rashes or some sort of like skin issue that has been flaring up, some sort of irritation, then this would also be an indication that this is a message for you. Obviously, you're welcome to watch this if none of those seems to be synchronistic. Just throwing that out there that this is another, and obviously if you're just watching this for entertainment. But anyway, so I'm getting Archangel Raphael, Metatron, Raguel. I'm seeing my guides and guardian angels. This is who I'm going to reference when I say they in this reading. So this is a message of the empath without bounds, moving into a system of an empathic person or a light worker, however you want to identify yourself. If you choose to identify yourself by these terms, you're moving into a place of having boundaries in a way that you haven't done this work before. You're changing the system in which you work, how you operate prior to, I'm going to say, this is just a window to give you an example of how I'm seeing it, because I'm seeing a bubble. So this isn't something that's happening overnight. It's not even happening over the course of weeks. It's happening over the course of an extended period of time, many, many months to years. So let's just say 6 months prior to 6 months forward. This is the period of time. Again, I just an example to show you the length of time of how you're moving into a different way of being, a different way of processing and recycling this light in order to do part of your mission here on earth. And so 6 months, 6+ months prior to today, essentially what you were doing is you were absorbing people's energies and you were recycling it out into a more clean way. And so these people, what you were doing was, you not only, it's an example is like you were crying with someone, right? When someone cries, you cry with them, but you are carrying all that energy with you. So as they healed, you still carried the weight of that. It was very exhausting for you, and it was starting to cause a friction that brought you to this period of time that I'm talking about, the six plus so a year's worth of you having anxiety, potentially depression and stress and worry, and basically becoming more recluse. And what I'm seeing with this is because what that was causing is a barricade, an energetic barricade, where no one could come in and nothing could come out. And how that felt for you was anxious. What was really happening was you were transmuting the energy inside of you. So those barricades that were up, this energetic barricade, it was pushing the energy, the light working energy, bouncing it off of these barricades back into you, back into you, back into you. So you're doing this light work on yourself in a way that was almost invisible to you. Almost invisible, because the way that you would perceive it is, I'm anxious, I don't want to leave the house, I don't want to be seen, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. It may have looked as a form of self-sabotage in some ways, how this may have been seen in the physical environment, but internally all of this, I guess it would be in some ways, but not, I was gonna say dark night of the soul, but it's not like that. But I guess you could kind of relate that energy in some ways to it, but it's not as heavy as a dark night of the soul. It's more light, but in the sense of like anxiousness is a lot lighter sometimes than like deep dark depression and despair. So this is more of a like pent up kind of feeling. It's like, I want to do something, but I don't want to do it because of all of the issues that I picked up on prior to this. And it was energy that you were carrying with you, this very, very, very heavy energy you're carrying with you from doing this light work with people and on people, whether you were physically involved with them, like you were actually connecting to them, or if it was just you going out in public and you could pick up on people's energies and you were transmuting it for them without them even being aware of it. That was part of your work prior to this. And so what you're moving into now, okay, then they're cutting me off. They're cutting me off and they're saying like, stop this look at this as a timeline, and then pretend like I'm jumping in to tell you a little like side story. So the side story is, what's the meaning of life? And if you could simplify that, it would be a process of understanding. It's the pursuit of understanding. And so what we're doing in all of these things in life of just wanting to just everything, wanting to succeed and what success means to us, and wanting companionship and wanting friendship and wanting adventure and wanting experiences. It's to understand. At its core, it's to understand. And looking at it in this way, like consciously looking at it as, you know, if you have a disagreement with someone, and looking at it as, how can I better understand where this person's coming from? Or how can I better understand myself, of why I react in certain ways? And then also connecting with people, connecting in friendships with people, genuine friendships, genuine conversation. It's a way to connect ourselves in the physical plane in a way that we cannot do as spirits alone, without this density. And so it's a process of I say process, but it's really the process / pursuit of understanding. So side note, now back to the storyline, is what you should be noticing is demons coming to you in the physical form. You could be picking up on it energetically, but people should be approaching you. This is an example. This actually happened to me at one point, but let's say that you aren't leaving the house, okay? And then someone just comes knocking on you. Let's say a religious organization comes knocking at your door and one of them is possessed. It will be like that. Like they're literally seeking you out. People who are suffering are seeking you out. This example that happened to me, this person, they were possessed, and it was a religious organization. It's not because of that, but I later found out that they were in a lot of distress over some personal issues that were happening. And so and they came to my place multiple times, and I kept missing them, and I had this feeling. And I actually, I'll link it below, but that day that they showed up, it was a full moon. And I remember this because I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I heard demons. Like the word demons and witches. And I mean this in the sense of, like, obviously there are Wiccan or pagan people that are good people, but I was looking at it in the dark sense. And then I said, I like, don't think like that. Like, that's negative. Like, don't think about that just because it's 3 a.m., which if you watch any of my other videos, like, I'm not into it because I'm not fully aware of like that information. So it's just has no inherent meaning for me. And so I couldn't go back to sleep. I was trying to. So I went to go exercise, and I heard a song. I heard a song, and I started listening to that song that day, and then that's when these people came. I'll link the song below. So and according to the details, which I haven't shared, I'm not going to share just for this person's sake, but it all made even more sense than what I'm just telling you now. But essentially, these people who are in distress, who are being attacked, demonically attacked, spiritually attacked, are coming to you. and are looking for salvation. They're looking for help. They're looking for that processing. And what you're going to notice is you're doing it in a different way. It's in a way where you are not absorbing their energy. You are functioning in a way now, and when you are, and now you're being encouraged. So this should be happening, and then what's going to happen after this, what's going to evolve, what you're going to notice, this is kind of like confidence building, and also to kind of reaffirm, it's like, this is your journey, this is your path, this is your calling, like this is part of your life path and calling. And so get out there and just like keep going, and like you're moving into this, it's not more mature, it's like, but that's how they're showing me. It's like, this is like baby light work. I don't know why they're showing me it this way, but that's kind of like the beginnings of it, and then you process and then kind of mature into this way. And so basically you're not absorbing people's energies. You're able to navigate the world. You're able to go out into public, and you can recognize what's occurring, but you're not absorbing it anymore. And what it's doing is it's almost barricading, and what that energy is doing is it's pursuing you because they can sense the light, and then it's bouncing back at them in order for it to transmute that way. So you're doing it with boundaries, and you're able to call it out and recognize it in people. And so that shines a mirror to them and causes them to do it on themselves. And so an example from what I was talking about with this individual, so I don't do exorcisms in a formal fashion. I know there are religious organizations that claim to do it, and there are a lot of witches that claim to do it for a fee. But I say claim because I've never been witness to any of this kind of stuff. But my personal experiences with this is I've seen demons. I've seen them in multiple fashions, and a way to identify a demon from my experience is noticing the energy shift. You will notice that feeling, you'll pick up on it, so just trust your intuition. The eyes will get really, really dark, or they'll get super, super beady. And then also when it's not even like if you get really good at it or not. I think it just depends on the demon necessarily. And I'm saying it as singular, but oftentimes people will carry multiple demons, and they'll fade in and out of the energy field. And what it actually looks like to me is like, let's say like an umbilical cord. So there's this umbilical cord from the human body to the spirit, your spirit, and it's like white light, like it's pure light, pure source, and nothing can actually like detach that umbilical cord like to your body. But what these demons can do is it's like injecting into the umbilical cord. So they're injecting poison into the system. And so it's about removing that source, that injection site, that source. And so they leave. And some people are very poisoned, right? And so, and it weakens the system, but it never actually severs it completely. And so the demons, you will actually be able to see them. What they look like to me, again, it differs, but I think for the most part, for me, it's not really like anything. It's like, I don't know how to describe, but it's like you can just energy. I don't know. It's like you can see it, but it's, I don't know, almost like a shadow. It's not a shadow. I don't know how to really explain it, but you can see them. But the way that I see them now as opposed to a long time ago is they are afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid. And the more you can like see them, the more fearful they become. And I have no reaction, like literally no reaction to demons. You know, like they don't intimidate me. They don't scare me. They don't like, it's like nothing to me. But that took years of practice, and I've talked about this before, but I've seen demons since I was a child, and I was told, you know, to not react. So it's taken me a long time. I just heard knocking. Anyway, so I'm not afraid, and the more that they see, I don't know how to really like them. It's like what happens when I see demons is like, it's natural for me now, but I just kind of become like this solid force. I just become this solid, like it feels like when you look at the white light, it's like crystallized. Like I just become crystallized, and I stare right at the demon, and I just mentally exercise them. I'm like, leave this person, leave this, like leave us alone. And they'll fade in and out. They don't want to be identified. That's the thing. And especially like this particular person I'm talking about, they're from the organization, their demon was weak, and very afraid. And because this person was a faithful person, and I just believe that because of this distressing time, then of course they were trying to inject themselves. Okay, so my phone cut off, but anyway, so they're afraid. Basically they're afraid, and this is being pointed out because how you're starting to do your light work moving forward is with this boundary is understanding how this all connects, how the fearfulness, the genuine fearfulness of a person who's very faithful is to demonic energies, like darker energies, and the process of desiring to understand people, and the natural process of having empathic boundaries is putting you in a position that you're able to rightfully enjoy your life without carrying so much of the weight of the world on your shoulders, and also being able to continue your work in a way that causes people to do, it's almost like working harder to earn their path, or like to continue their path or go on their journey. There's something about it where you were helping people prior to this in like a more easy way. For them it was easier. It's like at that time I guess these people needed it that way, and then now you're doing it where it's like they have to do it on the hard level. It's like, I empathize with you, and I exercise all the darkness in you consciously, but I'm shining this reflection on you so that you have the choice and the willingness to change or to do what it is that you need to do in your life, in order to see the successes that you desire in your life. I have some archangel cards here. Clairaudience, Archangel Zadkiel. Notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. There's one. Where is it? I'm dropping. Oh my goodness. There was one that was turned around. Oh, it's right here. Divine order, Archangel Raguel. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. I am hearing justice and I'm hearing victory, and how you are like this energetic judge. I don't know how to explain it. On the floor, I'll tell you in a minute what I was gonna say. So we have peace. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Make time to write down your thoughts in a journal, or pen, an article, or book. Remember who you are. You're a powerful, loving, creative child of God. You are very loved. Prosperity. Your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition, manifest your dreams into reality. Leadership. It's time for you to assume your leadership power and position, lovingly guide others. Zadkiel, it came through twice. I named Raphael. I didn't name the other ones, it's fine, but give your cares and worries to us, angels. Allow us to take your burdens. Soften your heart with respect to this situation, all people involved, including yourself. Having compassion, because that's essentially what I'm seeing here is you're a judge. You're a judge of compassion, an energetic judge, in the sense that you're not taking hold of their sins anymore. And by sins, I mean like life lessons and karma and stuff like that, and essentially like the right to live and the right to people's rights, right? In the sense of like, hold on, I need to ask something. When people suffer, and come up with energetic opposition with demonic entities, those entities are trying to take hold of their right to live freely and earnestly, because they're just showing me, like, honestly, they're showing me the cartel. That's what they're showing me, and how they perform demonic acts. Some of them openly worship demons, but that they, when you take a life, you are taking this person's right to live. And when you are attacked, there are specific demons. They're showing me suicide demons. There are specific demons that work for specific tasks, and essentially like a suicide demon is with someone who is well mannered or well balanced, and then just all of a sudden eliminate themselves from here. And so it's them allowing this demon to interject their right to live. And so what you do as a kind of like judge or officer, I don't know, but it's like you come in, like you interject people who are struggling, and you are helping them clear out this energy that is not part of their karmic path, in order for them to freely exist and pursue their right to their like deeper understanding. Am I making sense? I'm like trying to say it. I'm very close to saying it, but I'm not saying it exactly the way that it should. I mean, it's, I guess, the way that I can say it, but do you get what I'm saying? like, okay, so basically, I'm gonna repeat myself. So, like, we have karmic debts that we have to answer to. And from like a bigger scope of what's going on is because it's our way of trying to understand one another. And so when we have sins and we have all of these things that we pay for in some ways, it is not from God, it's from our own self-evolution through our process of passing away from this life or other lives from other places, and understanding how this ripple effect occurs for ourselves, the people we affect, and subsequently generations after. And so these light workers like you are coming in to clean up the things that aren't part of their karmic path. And so they can move and exist in a manner that is most efficient for them spiritually. That is part of your mission here in this world. And where you're evolving to from a point of you absorbing that energy and picking up on the heaviness of that darkness that blanketed over these individuals is you started transmuting it within you and building a shield, an armor, so that when you go back into this leadership position, when you go back out there and you start doing this work again, it's in a fashion that keeps you protected, but also continues to help these people the same but different. You get it? So I hope that made sense. And that's basically it. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm gonna go garden.